County Board of Supervisors is now adding Indigenous Peoples Day as an official paid holiday. Indigenous Peoples Day is the second Monday in October. There are 11 federally recognized tribes in Wisconsin, and the land that would later become known as Dane County is located on the ancestral and traditional lands of the Ho-Chunk, Sauk, and Kickapoo nations.